Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the worst game of the week and quite possibly one of the worst football teams in the Power 5 conferences. ASU was absolutely horrific today. Not only did we lose last week to Oklahoma State at ASU, who just got clobbered by South Alabama, we just got shut out at home by Fresno State. And let me tell you why I think our season is just completely over for there's so many reasons. There's so many reasons. Well, first off, you'll notice that we have 0 points. We didn't score a point. Already a problem. We knew we didn't have a good offense. It just got worse because Jaden Rashada, our freshman starting quarterback, is out for a quote-unquote disclosed injury. I don't know what the fuck that means. Right before the game, they say our starting quarterback is injured and we're not going to tell you. So that's already weird enough. But then they named Trenton Bourguet our starter, which I thought he was going to be the starter anyways, but that wasn't it. So I was really hyped. And we turn on the game, or we flip back because we were flipping between games on ad breaks and whatnot. We go back. It looks like he completed a pass or something like that, or maybe that we got a big run. Floats it. He throws a pick. And I was like, oh, that sucks. He gets the ball in the next drive. He fumbles it, but then he picks it back up and tries to keep the play going, rolls to the left, throws it, falls to the ground, and Trenton Bourguet goes out. Apparently, he's on crutches and in a boot or something like that. That's two QBs out. So now it's Drew Pine's turn. Drew Pine's still shaking up, I guess, from Camp Tonazona, where they go and practice for the fans. He got hurt there. That's why he didn't start in the first two games. But he's out. He's out there, and he throws a pick almost instantly. And then later in the game, he gets hit real hard, and he goes out. We're all the way down to our fourth string quarterback, who doesn't get injured, thankfully. But this dude's going to be our starting quarterback for the rest of the year. And I mean, I don't even want to. I can't even fight for him. He didn't put up a point. He threw 2 interceptions. He didn't do shit. Honestly, ASU was terrible. ASU was terrible. Our defense was actually really good, to be honest. Like, you would say, oh, 29 is not good. Well, I'll get to that. We held them to 5 field goals, one of which was 30, one of which was 29, and another was 33. Those are really close to the goddamn end zone. Those are some really good defensive stops by ASU. Other ones are a 50-yarder and a 39-yarder. So we were holding them to just field goals. We allowed on the first drive of the game a touchdown, which did not look good, and then a touchdown. But here's why Fresno State was even getting points at all. Arizona State had 8 turnovers. 8. You heard that right. 8 turnovers. Fresno State had 0. ASU actually had very little penalties. We had 2. Fresno State had 9. We failed to convert on 4th down, which was a 4th and goal by practically half an inch that we didn't convert. Fresno State was 1 for 1. Fresno State had 350 yards. ASU had 230. Fresno State was simply scoring because ASU kept turning the ball over on our side of the field and just letting them score. That is entirely why Fresno State won this game. Because if our offense honestly could have put together anything at all and didn't turn over the ball as much, Fresno State didn't do shit against our defense. Our defense was locked down. They could not score on us other than field goals. But still, I just think Arizona State, I think we won our only game against Southern Utah. I think that was seriously it. I don't see how ASU bounces back from this. It's going to be such a rough year. I'm calling it now. I think we might go 1-11. I think we might be the worst team in all of Power 5. I think we might. U of A just won their second game today against UTEP, so their record's already better. If anything, I think U of A would just be one of the bottom teams in the Pac-12. Stanford, definitely. I guess we're fighting for it with Stanford. We don't get to play them this year, but they lost to Sacramento State. But ultimately, we got shut out on our home field. We look awful. This hurts like an absolute dagger. I bet you there's people out there who have had to go through it with their teams, man, and I've almost never had to experience it because ASU's been a relatively good team for a long time, always sitting in that 4 or 5 loss range, 4 or 5, 6 loss range, and man, we are just awful. I could not watch it. It literally hurt. I was at the point where I decided, hey, this Colorado State game looks good. I'm watching that. I'm not turning the ASU game back on. I didn't, and we didn't score a point. So that's all that I wanted to cover this because, man, it's just this is bad. This is terrible. Program has just fallen apart. Herm Edwards kind of drove us into the ground, even though the whole reason why ASU is kind of falling apart right now is solely because of the COVID and its recruiting. It put on certain recruiting laws that Arizona State was violating, and then people put together a dossier, which they sent out to NCAA, which has created this whole investigation on us. And then Herm Edwards, basically Jaden Daniels and a bunch of people were like, yeah, we out, dude. Jaden Daniels was smart for that. Honestly, I don't blame him at all. I have nothing against Jaden Daniels for making this move. It was completely smart, and he should have. He left because of all the crap that was going on in the investigation. Ironically, we went 3-9. Herm Edwards was, quote unquote, he resigned. He was pretty much, that was the Eastern Michigan game. He was told, all right, dude, it's either we fire you or you find a way to resign or something like that. And then from that point on, it's just the downfall of ASU. I have no idea how Coach Dillingham brings us back, man. It's going to be – this year is going to be bad. I think next year might be worse. ASU is going to be the next Kansas, man. It hurts. It hurts a lot, especially since basketball, we're just going to be the same. So I just wanted to cover this kind of in a way to show that I'm honestly not biased. Like – I know that my team is shit. Like, I like to stand up. I stand up for my team and whatnot, as a fan should, but I know we're shit, and I'm not going to formulate opinions based on my certain likings of teams. I can still, look at the straight facts of things, and the straight facts of things is ASU's going to be shit. I had way too much hope for them going into this year. We are going to be terrible. I just wanted to cover this because, it was just, I feel like this was probably the worst game of the week. If I did it to Ohio State, I got to do it to ASU if they played just as bad. So with that being said, like and subscribe would help. Comment always helps. So that's all for me. Adios.